I ate a Dum Dum sucker. I took a shower, ate a Dum Dum sucker. I ate a piece of pizza. Ate a Dum Dum. Okay, wait. Blah, blah, blah. I took a shower, ate a piece of pizza, ate a Dum Dum sucker. Now I'm here. I thought about what I wanted to say about the book, and first off, I was very taken aback by Mitch just being like throwing out Stan Hurley's name, just like, yo, by the way, just like, what are you doing? But he had a plan the entire time. What the heck is going on? 5M needs to update the local game data. No, don't. I don't even use you. What the heck was that? Sorry. And distractions. Oh my gosh, camera, stop doing that, please. I swear to God. I know I paid $20 for you, and I've been having you work overtime. Jesus, okay. About the book. The ending line. Syad, old buddy. Can't wait to play 20 questions with you. The best. And Merry fucking Christmas. That's so good. That better be in the movie. It better be. So my theory was neither confirmed. Oh my god, I haven't slept yet. I'm sorry. I'm running on 6 hours of sleep in the last 48 hours. I'm still doing that. So, my theory was neither confirmed or denied. Confirmed or disproven. It didn't tell me one way or the other. It hinted that Mugnia was the one, along with Sharif, but that's not 100% certain in my brain. So my headcanon right now is that it was Kennedy and Lewis. And Stansfield maybe had something to do with it. But let's go ahead and read the epilogue, which is 6 pages long. The last part of this book. Epilogue. Zurich, Switzerland. 4 days later. What an odd number of days. Thomas Stansfield. About time you showed up. Where were you? Thomas Stansfield sat on the park bench and looked up at the Rietberg Museum. He loved Zurich, the lake, the unique pace, the beauty of the mountains, but most important, the safety it afforded a man of his profession. Dude, you did nothing. You just threw Mitch into this dangerous scenario. What could you possibly have? You don't have danger. You're protected. Yes, I'm a little bit bitter towards Stansfield, okay? Just chill. Alright. This city, and the small country it was a part of, had managed to stay out of World War II, even with war raging just beyond its borders in every direction, and in the years after that it had continued to offer a respite for cold warriors like himself. I've never heard it said that way. Cold warriors? Is that what they call them? The people... Okay, whatever. And the man he was about to meet, a place where they could lower their guard, not completely, but enough to enjoy life a little, and occasionally meet face to face to discuss mutually beneficial opportunities, or, in this instance, conclude vital transactions. Say what? What are you doing? Stansfield saw the two black sedans. Frickin'. I swear to God. Stansfield saw the two black sedans enter the park and glanced at his watch. Stop, camera, alright? The meeting would start on time, which was a nice surprise. The man he was meeting was notoriously late. Who are you meeting? Stansfield watched the sedan stop 30 feet behind the two vehicles in his entourage. Every detail had been agreed to in advance so as not to make either party unduly skittish. Two men in dark overcoats and sunglasses exited the first car. They looked like Eastern European versions of the two men who were standing a respectful 30 feet behind the CIA's deputy director of operations. I don't have any respect for Stansfield anymore. I don't know why. It's just come to me all of a sudden. Like, he doesn't throw himself in action. Except for now, which is weird. Anyway. A man with unusually large ears and puffy eyes exited the second car and buttoned his blue double-breasted suit coat. Stop, camera. One of the men approached with a wool overcoat, but the older man waved him off, which brought the hint of a smile to Stansfield's face. He had spent 6 years in Moscow. To a Russian, 40 degrees in Zurich this time of year would feel like summer. Yevgeny Primakov motioned for his men to stay by the car and walked over to the bench. Stansfield did not stand, and Primakov did not expect him to. Neither were handshakes offered. These were two men whose entire jobs revolved around seeing through other people's deceptions. "Did you bring my man?" Stansfield asked. "Yes, did you bring mine?" "That was not part of the agreement." "It should have been," Primakov said gruffly. "Say, what are you doing?" "There would have been a slight problem there, Yevgeny." "What?" Stansfield turned so he could face him. "My man wants to come back to America." "Your man?" Stansfield shook his head. "He doesn't want to go back to Russia. What does that tell you?" "How can I know that? You have not allowed me to talk to him." Stansfield pulled a manila envelope from inside his jacket. "I gave you the highlights on the phone. His boss, one of your deputies, has stolen more than $20 million from Mother Russia and her fine citizens." What is happening? "That money is currently sitting in various accounts around the world. How do you think Deputy Shvets would be treated if I were to hand him over to you?" Ah, ooh. Primakov did not answer the question. "Yevgeny, you do realize I could have given this to the White House? They would have shared it with your president when the time was right, and you would have been put under suspicion along with that thug Ivanov." Primakov couldn't bring himself to say thank you, so he asked, "Why the courtesy?" "Because I don't like my people being kidnapped and treated like a science experiment. You did bring Mr. Cummins?" "Yes." Primakov stuck out his hand for the envelope. "Not until I see my man." Ah, he's negotiating for Cummins. Yevgeny wanted Shvets back. Why? He's worthless. Okay, whatever. And my camera! Stop it! Okay? Listen. Okay? Good God. I'm sorry, this cameraman. I'm funny. No, I'm not. Okay, not until I see my man. Primakov motioned to his men, and they opened the back door of the first car. The bodyguard had to help Cummins out of the sedan. He was incredibly thin, but it was him. Stansfield looked over his shoulder and snapped his fingers. One of his bodyguard took off at a trot to help with the transfer. The package. Stansfield handed it to Primakov, who immediately tore it open. He flipped through the 20-odd pages and asked, "How do I know this isn't all made up?" "Check it yourself. The access codes are all there. The money is still in the accounts, although, trust me, I thought about using it for a few of our more creative programs." Primakov considered that for a moment. He finally managed to say, "Thank you." "You're welcome," Stansfield said as he stood. "Just do me a favor, Yevgeny. Let's stick to the old rules. You stay away from my guys, and I'll stay away from yours." That rule won't hold. There's 17 more books. Sorry. I don't know. Stansfield walked away with his other bodyguard close behind. He stopped at the first sedan to check on the snaz, and then got into the back seat of the second car. The bodyguard closed the door and then went around the other side and climbed in the back seat. As soon as they were out of the park, the bodyguard took off his sunglasses and asked, "Did he buy it, sir?" Stansfield looked over at Mitch Rapp and said, 100%. Rapp looked out the window, thinking that Hurley had truly lived up to his reputation as the biggest SOB on the block. It had been pure evil genius to pay Ivanov's money back into his accounts and have Shevets inform on him. So what's going to happen to Ivanov? Stansfield looked down and straightened his tie. I think Mikhail Ivanov is going to spend the next few months being thoroughly interrogated by the SVR's goon squad. And then what? He won't be able to deny the money, will he? No. Stansfield nodded. You're a smart kid. Fill in the blanks. I'm having trouble filling in the blanks, Stansfield. Help me. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Rapp shrugged as if he didn't care. What about Syed? Some questions are better off not asked. I want to know what happened to Syed. Please, tell me. Rapp frowned. He didn't like not knowing. Me too! Tell me. Listen, Stansfield said, I can't release a guy like Syed. He'll just go back and torture more of our people. Stansfield shook his head. The man will get what he deserves. Death! Kill him. Sorry. Actually, no. Death is too merciful for him. Put him in prison, solitary confinement for the rest of his natural-born life, and then make every once in a while send somebody in there to blindfold him for a couple days, and then come in and punch him every once in a while. Yeah. Sir, I hope you know I don't give a crap what happens to him. I do. Good. What about Shevets? Shevets will be fine as long as he continues to cooperate. In a few years, we'll cut him loose and let him start a life of his own. Boo! They drove in silence for a while, and then Rapp finally asked, Sir, why did you want me to come along for this? Because being your bodyguard is not exactly my area of expertise. Stansfield had been wondering when the rookie was going to get around to asking the question. He grinned to himself and asked Rapp, You think Stan Hurley is a son of a bitch? The biggest one I've ever met, sir. Stansfield laughed. Now you know he's not big on compliments. Rapp nodded. Well, he had some pretty amazing things to say about you when he got back from Beirut. Ridley as well. Irene has been telling me for close to 2 years that she thought you might have the goods. And I guess you proved to all of us last week that you most certainly do. Thank you, sir. So I guess I wanted to have a closer look at you. And show you that despite what you may have thought in Beirut, I will go to great lengths to get my people back. Rapp nodded. He supposed Ridley had passed on his blistering critique. I know that now, sir. Good. Now I think you should take a week off. You've earned it. I don't care where you go, as long as it's west of here. 7 days from now, report to Stan. I've got something else I want you two to work on. Setting up for the next book, okay. Rapp was tempted to ask, but decided he didn't want it weighing on him while he was trying to recharge. Any idea where you're going to go? Stansfield asked, in case we need to get a hold of you. I know where he's going. Rapp looked at the snow-capped mountains and thought of Greta. Yep. With a smile on his face, he said, I think I'm going to stay right here in Zurich. Yeah, that's where he was going. Okay. I need to review the timeline of events because Pan Am Lockerbie happened in 1988, I think it was said. And they said that was 3 or 4 years ago. So, my question is, when did Kennedy find Mitch? That's what I'm going to look up, because that will put a wrench in my whole theory that Kennedy and Lewis did it. But, yeah, I'm gonna have to reread this book on my own and then write down the dates and the time skips because there's a couple where he's like 6 months from now, 4 months from now. I, was living with my mom for a few months before I went into training, that sort of thing. So I have to look at that because I want to make sure that before I permanently ingrain in my head that it was Kennedy and Lewis in my own head canon, I want to make sure that I have enough evidence to back it up. And if the timeline is wrong, that I have to throw it out. You know what I mean? But this book is amazing. Um, I'm really glad that they didn't uh, lean into. I'm really glad that Vince Flynn didn't lean into Greta too much. Like he didn't overly use her. Sounds wrong. He didn't have too many chapters with her in it. That would have made the book a lot longer. um, Stan's final words were amazing. I don't really have much else to say. The thing I wanted to say most was about the timeline and how I have to reassess that because when I'm reading it out loud and stuff, it's hard to gather like what the timeline is because it doesn't in your face tell you what year it is. Um, I wanted to say something else. They didn't tell me what happened to Syed. They just said, uh, he'll get what he deserves. Which is what? Lifetime of torture? Because that's what he deserves in my head. Please, just lock him in a cell, blindfold, and tie him to a chair. And then every once in a while, have somebody go in there, beat him up a bit, shove food down his throat, and then leave. That's what he deserves. Every, week. Once a week, that happens. That's the only food he gets. Oh my gosh. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm terrible. I'm a terrible human being. Okay. So that was the end of American Assassin. Tell me what book I should read next because I have no idea. Also, tell me if my audio is any better because I did a lot of testing for like an hour almost trying to fix this thing. I put up the gain, I put down the threshold, I added the compressor, the noise cancellation, all that nonsensical diatribe. So, yeah. And then I'm going to get a new webcam before I start reading the next book. So, oh wait, one more thing, I'm sorry. I'm going to revise my previous statement just now. I will get a new webcam before my next chapter book. There is a book that I want to read that is not at all. Like, it is the complete opposite of this book. Oh, you'll see that after this. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Bye. Okay, really, really quick. Oh my gosh, my camera is being stupid. But, um, I, I just reread it and made notes and everything, and I understand how what happened to Ivanov. Stansfield made Primakov think that Chevets told them that Ivanov stole the money from Mother Russia. So now, Ivanov is going to be interrogated and tortured and all that stuff, and it's freaking awesome, okay? But I'm really like, what's the word? I'm sorry, it's really, really, I'm so tired. I really want to know what happened to Syed, but, it's fine. Anyway, and one more thing, because I thought about this because Irene says every time that we've learned that anytime it's mentioned that Irene has been looking into rap for 2 years, it is Irene saying it to Stansfield or saying it to somebody. But she could be lying, obviously. So, I don't know. Even if the timeline doesn't match up when I look into it later, I'm probably still going to accept the headcanon that Irene Kennedy and Tom Lewis were behind Pan Am Locker B, Pan Am 103. Because it just makes sense. Anyway, okay, that's enough. Bye!